Hi there, guys. It's Liz, and it's time to continue working on this guy. So I have this is the last week of my class this term. We are going to we have a break, and then we come back on July 14th for the floral class, and we'll be painting all summer flowers, and I'm looking forward to it like big time. Let's see, I just realized I don't have, let's see if I can see my, if I don't have sound and I'm live, let's see if I can get into my live. Nope, I can't, shucks. Okay, I have to go get my daughter's iPad. Okay, I'm back, and I now have the information I need, because when I'm painting Instagram, I don't always get to see my camera on my phone or what you guys are writing. So I have my daughter's iPad. I tune in through my daughter's account, and so yeah. So I've been painting this fun painting of Asiatic lily in a yellow picture on a red checked cloth. And it is, it's a cheerful, fun setup. I'm having lots of fun with this guy. So let's get this baby going. So really liking how this guy's turning out. So okay, so I've got some green, so there's a couple things I need to, let's see, too light. I need to make it a little bit darker. Let's see. So this edge in there needs to be fixed. Needs a little bit more blue. A little bit more Viridian. A little bit more blue, a little bit more Viridian. So, yep, I'll stay away from going too far over, so that way it won't focus too much on my hand and then go in and out of focus. Okay. So I'm just kind of cleaning up my edges, which is one of the things I always do when I've come back to a painting after a while, is that I like, you know, I've taken a lunch break from class, and so now I want to kind of get back in and investigate it. And kind of like work on my edges, find areas that need to maybe be softened. Clean my brush. And just kind of play. So painting, I think of painting as really as a fun opportunity to play. You know, it's an opportunity to explore. It's an opportunity to grow as a person, because every time you paint, you are also asking your mind and your body to kind of be just a little bit more aware of your world through observation, which I think is a wonderful thing. So yeah, so that's kind of what I am. So this edge right here. So granted, the flower and the flower is the main event, but I want to make sure that I've got everything, all the other supporting characters of this painting, set up to where it makes for a very fun painting. Gosh, I love that. So this Instagram Live is a continuation of my class that I teach on Wednesday mornings via Zoom. And this is the last class of the term. We are going to go on break until Wednesday. January 14th. Sorry guys, I'm not very good with like dates and then I'm like painting, so that just makes it a little bit worse. So yeah, so we are going to be meeting back up to paint on July. Did I say January? I think I said January too. So July 14th, it will be when we return for class, and we'll be painting summer flowers. Every week we paint a new setup, and I provide all the photo references, and we work on our setup. So, oh, I did say July. Okay, good. So July 14th, we come back, and I hope some of you guys will be in the class with me. We have had such a fun class this term. We painted all springtime flowers. So we painted azaleas and bleeding heart, and let's see, what else did we paint? Oh, lilacs. We painted lilacs too, which is so fun. So now I'm in the process of, so pretty. Okay, so I'm painting, everything that I'm painting right now is still wet. So I'm painting wet and wet, which I think is one of the best ways to paint, because you keep all your edges really fresh, and so then you can really create some wonderful side effects with your edges. Oh yeah, and we painted dandelions too. Thanks, Melissa, for reminding me. And I can't believe I forgot those, because I love painting dandelions. We painted those last week, and they were super fun. Yeah, so, actually, guys, I know for sure I haven't painted Queen Anne's lace in like 2 or 3 years. And we are definitely painting some Queen Anne's lace for this summer. I don't know if you guys love Queen Anne's lace like I do, but boy, I do. And I have found a patch of Queen Anne's lace. So, so I'm just really looking forward to that. So let's see. So yeah, so we'll be painting Queen Anne's lace too this summer. Okay, so I'm kind of cleaning things up, getting some of, so now, like, I had the first layer down, so now I'm working on the nuance, and so it's important to slow down at this phase. Pam, I'm glad you like Queen's End lace. I do too. I mean, who knows? We might do two different setups of Queen Anne's lace, because I so adore that flower, and I even like painting them dried, like when the seed heads dry up. They're so pretty that way too. But yeah, so we're going to be painting Queen Anne's lace and zinnias this summer, and yeah, but yeah, so guys, check out, go to my website, and then follow the link to, like, under, I think, teaching, go to weekly classes, and then you look for the floral class, because every week we're going to be painting some pretty cool flowers. So yeah, and Sanchi, you asked what yellows am I using. I'm using all my yellows. So so I've got my Cad Red, my Cad Lemon, my Cad Yellow Medium Value, my Cad Yellow Deep, Yellow Ochre, Raw Sienna, because I use Raw Sienna and yellow as a mixing yellow. I also have Burnt Sienna and Cad Orange and Cad Vermilion. Those are the color ranges that I'm using for the yellows. And then, you know, when the yellow needs to go a little bit green or whatever, I've also, you know, I'm mixing that in as well. I'm glad, Pam, you're excited, because it's, I am too. Oops, I just squeezed out my Naples yellow, but I'll use that too. So I thought I was squeezing out my Cad Lemon, but instead I squeezed out Naples yellow. But that's also a really nice color. So I'll just show you guys. My favorite Naples yellow is by Michael Harding. So the Michael Harding Genuine Naples Yellow Light is such a wonderful color. Here's my Cad Lemon. Okay. So goes a little bit darker there. So one of the tricks about painting yellows is that you got to really pay close attention to your value shifts. the yellow range is very narrow. So you want to always be making sure that you're paying attention to your shifts in value. Because that makes the difference, in my opinion. That can really make or break a setup. So that's got a little, there's a reflection, so I'm gonna grab that reflection right there. Soften that. Okay, so let's see, so yes. Oh, I'm noticing. Okay. There. And then it's a little bit. Let's see. Yep. So I always want to be cognizant and aware of where my value shifts are going, like what's going on, to make sure that my painting is with yellows. I always need to be paying attention to my value scale and also the saturation of the yellow. So like the flower is a very, very saturated yellow, where my picture, that the yellow picture that it's in, is kind of desaturated just slightly. So I want to make sure that is captured and expressed. So yeah. And so I'm working on that, and then like I'm always surprised when you're doing something bright and glow, like these flowers. This lily is such a glowing flower, and so that means that there's quite a bit of like orange in there, and that's because flowers are, their petals are translucent, and so so I have to make sure that I've captured kind of that translucent. But then there's also, sometimes the flowers can be kind of dark. So I'm walking that line. I'm straddling that line of some deep shadow values, but also some very, very light colors. And then like, are they, how are they glowing, and like, and what I always want to be looking and like making sure that I'm observing as well as I can, because I want that to be, and I have this like, I need to work in that area. And then like, as this shifts into the shadow, it kind of goes a little green. So I want to get that in. Oh, I'm going to use that. Yeah. So that's a little bit of cad green with my Naples yellow. I had gotten out of the habit of squeezing it out. I think I kind of lost the tube, to tell you the truth. But I'm so glad I accidentally squeezed it out. I think that's just what I needed right there. Okay. Let me get that in. Really nice. So, yeah, really loving how this is coming together. And like this, I need to work on this foreshortened started it and I made it too light in value too quickly. So, so I had to like recapture and like reestablish, so to speak. There's green too. So when you're painting with yellows, you really need to be thinking about the color temperature of that yellow, the value of that yellow, and that's also part of the reason. There's some darks and deep in the flower that I didn't capture before. So there's always right here. So it's you're constantly dealing with a bunch of little bits and pieces that have to be massaged, I guess is the best way of putting it. And so, let's see. Hi, everybody. Thank you guys so much. So if you notice too, this flower, I have not dealt with any of the pistils and stamens yet. And that's because I like to always get everything else kind of figured out and painted and like presented. And then I'll go in and paint that center part. And in fact, actually, the amazing thing about painting lilies is if you get the shape of the lily correct enough, you don't always have to paint the center parts. I've actually sometimes forgotten to, and the painting still hangs together. So it's always fascinating to me how a lot of times you just have to infer what's going on. Okay, I need to get a new rag. My rag is getting old and kind of yucky, but I want to work on this petal real quick. Another trick about painting with yellow is that you got to make sure that your brush stays clean. And so that means you go through rags a lot faster than you regularly would with anything else, because because of how the yellow, well, cadmium yellow gets everywhere if you're not careful too. That's another side effect that you got to kind of work with. But also I want to see, it kisses that petal right there, this new petal that I'm working on, and then that's a little bit lighter in value than I had, and it comes down and it kisses. And then it actually goes into a lighter, cooler color temperature. And then, this petal comes up higher. So I need to get that up high. That looks nice. So my scale was just a wee bit off. Okay, I want to soften that. Okay. I need to get, okay. So I'm gonna So I'm picking up the background color, so I gotta be very careful about like washing out and wiping out my brush as soon as it starts to pick up. Ooh, nice and yummy, gooey paint. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. Same goes for right here. I want some more gooey paint. I really, really want it to be just so lovely. There we go. Yes. And there. Okay. And then what happens is that's where that edge is. So I've got just a little bit more depth to work with. That helps. And then the cool thing about flowers is that their petals are translucent. So when light is shining through them, if they are a certain color, they will glow even more. And so, like for example, with these flowers, this lily that I'm working on now. So when light is shining through it, you'll get almost an orange glow. But then, like when it's in shadow, it's either like shifting green, or it's shifting kind of a dirty purple. Not a true dirty purple, but not a true purple, but kind of in that range. And so yeah, I'm really liking how that's coming together. So I've got nice gooey paint. I got some of my shadow shapes. I'm rebuilding this foreshortened flower petal that has that needed a little bit more attention, that I hadn't yet given it attention to, but now I think it's in. And then I'm going to put in a little bit of that glow right here, where there's just a little bit of glow from the way and then there's a little bit more glow right down here, so I'm going to get that in. Okay, and so then I have glow right here, so I want to get that in. And it's also more yellow, so I will get that yellow in, but I'm first going to do an underpainting of kind of an orange glowy color. Okay, oh, and my yellow of my vase, I just noticed. I always wondered about that, and now. So, and then like right here, my vase is right here. So that right there. Yep. And then the shadow shape, because there's a cast shadow. It's right there. Cast shadow. And then kind of there's a, and that petal comes in front of that edge. Okay, and then there's like a really dark bit right where the handle is. So the handle comes right there. And then there's more handle right here. And there's like cast shadow, more shape. There we go. And then let's see what's going on over here. A little bit more deeper value right there. So I'm going to get that little bit deeper value in. Yeah. So that's another thing about, like, you know, yellows can shift into so many different fun colors. And so I like to make sure that I'm not like just relying on like one color for my shadow shapes when painting yellows. I like to make sure that I've got, you know, more going on, more possibilities. Let's see, right here. And then the lilies are just so so fun, if I do say so myself. But I think they are, and like when you like, I used to have several Casablanca lilies in my garden, but the squirrels have discovered them. So unfortunately this year, I'm not getting the crop of Casablanca lilies, which are the big, beautiful white ones. But I'm hopeful that I will. You know, I'm gonna plant some more in the fall, I think. And I've learned recently that I didn't dig them deep enough, and so I made it too easy for the squirrels to get to. So next year, or this year when I plant them, I'm gonna plant them like a full foot deep, and let's see if that will keep the squirrels at bay a bit. So it's a little bit more golden there, and then go. Goodness, that's so pretty. Very pretty. Need to go a little bit darker. And a little bit more with the shadow. Oh, right there. Okay, so now I gotta work on this foreshortened guy. And now he requires a lot of attention. That foreshortened front petal is requiring a lot from me. So I need to make sure I have captured it correctly. So structurally, I need to go in and redraw. And what I noticed is that it's a little bit lower. So I'm going to start with the deepest deep color, and I'm going to move forward, and that will hopefully reinforce the whole foreshortening that I need to do for that flower. And then what I'm noticing is even so, like if that's the edge, you know what, I just need to obliterate that guy for a quick moment. Oil painting is such a forgiving medium, guys. So I am maximizing the forgiving nature of oil paint. So let's get some shadow shapes in. Now I need to go lighter. Okay, so I'm lighting. Let's get that. That's it. Yeah, that's okay. Really nice. Ooh, so juicy, so lovely, so lovely, so lovely, lovely, lovely. So this needs to go a little bit lighter over here. So I'm going to get that in. Get that in. So I'm picking up my colors. If you notice, that was a lot more pure mixture. And then this has gotten a little adulterated, so I got to clean off my brush, reload, and get that in. Ooh, so pretty. Okay. And then that same color mixture needs to go right here on this part of the handle. Okay guys, so I keep on like, start here, but then I circle back, and that's kind of because I want to be setting up everything that is deep into my painting. That needs to be established first, and so I keep on like realizing areas that I was like, oh, that needs to be dealt with. That area needs to be kind of like heightened or figured out, and so. Oops, sorry guys I hit it with my shoulder, the phone in my setup. There we go. And then the underside of this petal is dark right here. So let me get that in. This guy, it comes all the way up here, and he's really light in value, and it's a wedge, so I need to make sure I'm wedging enough. There we go. There we go. Goodness. And then needs lights wedging back in. So I need to get that in. Okay, I think that's working. So what I'm making sure I'm doing is that I'm slowly working up to this foreshortened flower petal, and what I want to do is I kind of want to make sure that everything is set up so that way when I start working with all these tricky parts of that foreshortened flower petal, I don't have to do any drawing, and I don't have to go back and like reestablish anything that is behind it. So that's why I'm taking my time, and I'm like verifying that my drawing is correct, that the anatomy of the flower is correct, and then pretty soon, like right there. So like even this petal I thought was in the correct spot, but now I'm realizing it's still not. So I need to fix that. And that's where like painting with oils is so forgiving, because I can correct it very easily. Where like I love painting with watercolor, but it's not as forgiving. You have to be a little bit more spot on right off the get-go. And what I'm going to do real quick is I want to get the stamen in, the bottom of the stamens in. So like right here is a light, and why? Because I want to get the front of the edge of that petal, and these stamens go behind that. So I want to make sure I'm creating that sense of visual depth. Okay, and they need to go a little bit. I made it just a little bit too pale, so I'm gonna turn it a little bit green and a little bit desaturate it with a little bit where I'm using yellow ochre instead of like say cad yellow, because the yellow there is just a little bit more desaturated. Oh, and I need to shake my brush. right here. So I'm going to get that stamen in. And then there's this one right here. I'll get this guy in. There's another one right here, but we barely see it. So I'm just going to hint at it. It's not as... and then that center green part is fine, but I got to go here and there. Thank you, Sanchi. I'm so glad you're here. So, as I was saying to all the new people that have come, this is a continuation of my weekly floral painting class that I teach through the Arts of Great Falls. And this is the last class of the term before we go on break, but we come back and in July 14th is the first class back, and I am looking forward to it because we're going to paint some pretty fun summer flowers. I was going down the list earlier in class, and we're going to be painting like zinnias and Queen Anne's lace and sunflowers, just lots of fun flowers, fun flowers that are all from the heat of the summer, and so I would encourage, if you like painting flowers and you want to learn more and you also want to get more one-on-one instruction, sign up. I think my classes are very good. One of the reasons why I do this Instagram Live is because it guarantees that we get more. I can spend more time with my students in the class on their work, or talking more about painting composition and just like some of the more like discussion related stuff of art making, and where, you know, with questions and answers and stuff like that. But everybody loves watching. Hi, Anne. You know, just go at it slowly, you know. I mean, look how much I'm having to restructure and redraw because I got it wrong in my first block in. But I'm just kind of, I'm fixing as I go, which is the nice thing about oil painting, is that you can fix as you go. You can always like find where you accidentally went wrong and like circle back. That's, oil painting is, I think it's a process. It's a process of constantly circling back and figuring out, where did you, what happened, and then you make a couple of you make a couple of like adjustments, and then you test and look, and then you keep going. All right, I'm glad you'll try, Anne. I can't wait. And make sure, so for this, since this is this composition for the last class of the term, to get reviewed is to bring it to the first class of the next term, which starts July 14th. And yeah, okay, so like I'm already figuring this out. So I think that this petal is now starting to come together so much better now. Foreshortening, be it you're foreshortening an arm or a leg, or even a nose, can be quite the challenge. But if flower petals are the same thing, you just have to like abstract it, think about those shapes, and really, just push yourself to see if you can observe it with just a little bit more intention. And yeah, so there we go. So we've got lots of shadow shapes. Okay, I want to soften that shadow edge. Okay, so let's see. And And then this edge right here is catching, and then there's like a big catch of light right there. And it's catching light right there too. Okay, it's coming together. Still needs a couple of things, so I'm gonna, and like you paint wet and wet, so like for example, I've got lots of layers in this dark shadowed area, foreshortened area because it's in shadow. But now I'm gonna start laying in my yellow paint over it, and it starts to alter it just a little bit, just enough to make it feel like, you know, like it is in shadow. And, you know, the translucency of the flower petal is coming through. The crazy thing about the shadow is that there's a little bit of like red in it. And that's the glow. And then there's, like, it's lighter. There we go. Now it's starting to read like it's supposed to. Yay. Yeah, there we go. That's nice. Okay, so I don't have much more time of this setup or this Instagram live. So let's go for some of the big coup de grace moments. So like one of the things that can make a lily like come to life really, really fast is doing those crazy stamens. And so I first start off with it depends on how I do it. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to actually try first. I'm just going to lay in some transparent red oxide. And this is my placeholders, but it's also, this will be my edge because these stamens have like kind of some orangey, you know, they look like transparent red oxide, just very, very deep value. So that becomes this becomes my place markers. And like with oil paint, you don't have to always paint the exact color that you see first off the bat. You can paint that undercolor, that underpainting that I like to do so much. Let's see right here. Let's see, I triangulate it. Oh, there's my timer. So we're getting close to the end of this Instagram live, but I'll do a little bit. I'll keep going for just a little bit longer and see. Right there. So there's my place, or there's my placeholders, and already it's like, wow, that looks great. And then there's this little bit of, there's a red center right here of I always forget which ones are the pistils and which one's the stamen, but so now I've got dioxine purple, and I mixed in just a little bit of the transparent red oxide. There. And between every kind of stroke, I'm either flipping my brush or I'm wiping it down with a rag. I have a rag in my hand, and I think it's, you know, your rag is your you know, is like a very valuable friend. And yeah. There. Look at that. That's coming together already. Wow. Yeah. So, woohoo! I'm loving how that is looking at turning out. And there are little tiny flecks inside of this lily that I do want to get. And oftentimes I actually do them first off, but I didn't do it this time. So I've got them. They are a little bit kind of the same color as that because I'm just going to put them in. And I do actually try to follow like what is in nature. So I'm not just making polka dots, but I'm actually kind of looking at seeing how are they grouped in on my lily that I'm painting. And if you notice, guys, I'm not using a tiny brush for these tiny little marks. I'm actually using a number 3, extra long filbert by Trekell. The extra long hog hair bristles are my favorite brushes to use. And a student recently asked how, like, you know, like do you invest in a good brush even if you're a newbie? And my advice is yes, because like if your brush is like an extenuation of your hand, and I don't know if you've ever tried to draw with like a cheap pencil versus a nice, like one of the turquoise pencils, or a nice, you know, a nice pencil that's got good lead, and how different it feels to draw with a good leaded pencil versus a pencil that's got like grit and sand, and so it's kind of a little uneven. I feel like it's the same thing. You want to work with the better brush. Okay, so that's it for today. I thank you guys so much for coming. And I told so I've come to my website and check out my my weekly classes. This is a continuation of my weekly classes. And also, I am teaching a rose painting workshop this weekend. I totally I've been thinking about this painting, so I totally forgot about talking about that. But if you have time this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, do join us. We are going to be painting roses Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There are view-only options and full participation. View only, you just are watching the times when I'm demonstrating. So it's kind of like this, but it's longer because I paint for about 2.5 hours every day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we have a little bit more conversation. And then the full participation, you get to work on a painting. And also we have slideshows and discussions as well, and in the full participation class, which so there's just a little bit more learning that goes, actually a lot more learning that goes on in the full participation class. So thank you so much, guys, for being here, and have a really, really good afternoon. And yeah, thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.